Know-nothing D-bags on practically every national platform are foaming at the mouth and anointing Patrick Mahomes as a top 3 historical quarterback following his and the Kansas City Chiefs win over the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. Mahomes has been unbelievable in his 6-year career since becoming a starter 5 years ago. Let's review the preposterousness. In 5 years as a starter, Mahomes has played in 5 home AFC Championship games and 3 Super Bowls, winning 2 of them. He also has 2 league MVPs and 3 All-Pro selections. The accomplishments land him in elite territory, as there were only 2 others to accumulate at least 2 Super Bowl wins, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and 2 league MVPs in their entire career. A couple guys named Brady and Montana. Mahomes has been so good so early in his career that it's actually not outrageous to start discussing him as an all-time great, maybe even a top 5 all-time player. But to be throwing around garbage like it would only take 4 rings for him to surpass Brady, or he's already better than Brady, is insanely premature and indicative of today's garbage generation of fans and on-air personalities that just gloss over anything that came in earlier generations.
Hold on, Stephen A. Why 4? Because that's still a big gap. Why would he surpass Brady with 3 less Super Bowls?
Because as great as he was great in the loss, for crying out loud. And so to be great in the loss and then to capture 4 Super Bowl wins and then to be the best player while doing so.
Way back in the 2002 season, Tom Brady was leading the NFL in touchdown passes in his 3rd season as a starter. He threw 28 touchdowns that year. This season, in his aged 45 year, Brady threw 25 touchdowns in what is largely considered the worst season ever for him. In the not-so-way back 2010 season, Tom Brady was first-team All-Pro and League MVP with 3,900 yards passing and 36 touchdowns. That was right in the heart of his physical prime, as Brady was aged 33 that year. Wondering just how vastly the NFL has changed during the course of just Tom Brady's career? Last year at age 44, Brady passed for the most yards of his entire career and the second most touchdowns in his career at 44. Mahomes was a near unanimous league MVP this season, nabbing 48 of a possible 50 first-place votes in his aged 27 year. But last year at 44, Brady threw for more yards and touchdowns than Mahomes did this season in his prime while winning a near unanimous MVP. If Tom Brady is outproducing prime Patrick Mahomes in his mid-40s, in this era, under these rule parameters incentivized for offensive production, what kind of numbers could Brady have amassed in a career that spanned to age 45? In his 20s, Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls, passing for 21,564 yards and 147 touchdowns. Contrast that to 5 seasons he played in his 40s, where he won 2 Super Bowls, threw for 27,632 yards and 193 touchdowns. Also, while Brady's accomplishments are degraded due to having the GOAT head coach in Bill Belichick, Mahomes is generally credited with carrying Andy Reid to elite status. This is amusing since we have seen Belichick coach in 10 seasons without Tom Brady. In those 10 years, Belichick is 79-87, has 3 winning seasons out of 10, and made the playoffs only twice, and has 1 total playoff game win, and that came in 1994. Also, the season prior to Brady taking over in his first year and winning the Super Bowl, New England was just 5-11. Let's compare that to the resume of Andy Reid that he amassed in 19 years without Patrick Mahomes, amassing a 183-120 record. He coached in 5 conference championship games without Patrick Mahomes and in a Super Bowl with no Mahomes. He had 15 winning seasons out of 19, and in 3 years prior to Mahomes taking over in Kansas City, the Chiefs were 11-5, 12-4, and 10-6. We would also have to take into account the amount of talent surrounding Mahomes and Brady. In their first 5 seasons, excluding themselves, Patrick Mahomes played with 17 other players named to an All-Pro team. Tom Brady, in his first 5 seasons, played with only 6 All-Pros. Brady also had 0 All-Pro pass catchers over that time, whereas Mahomes has had a minimum of 1 and in some seasons 2 All-Pro pass catchers. And for all of you freshly anointed Mahomes superfans out there fawning all over the 2 Super Bowls in 5 years as a starter, here's a friendly reminder that Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 seasons as a starter. Mahomes is incredible. He is already an all-time great. But to move him up next to Brady at this point is incredibly premature, not to mention bumping him up to top 3 ever at this stage bypasses Peyton Manning, who won 5 league MVPs, 4 of which came in a 6-year span. And yes, he only won 2 Super Bowls, which is exactly how many Mahomes currently has. You may be thinking more are inevitably to follow, but let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl in his 3rd season as a starter at age 27 and hasn't been back since. He turns 40 this year. Ben Roethlisberger had 2 Super Bowls by 26 years of age. He retired at 39 with 2 Super Bowls. And Dan Marino played in his first Super Bowl in just his 2nd season. He never returned again. In the NFL, where nothing is guaranteed, what we know is that Tom Brady was a starter for 21 years and played in 10 Super Bowls, winning 7. Whatever Mahomes has accomplished to this point isn't even close, no matter how you want to look at it.